ABC Sports returns for the 14th year to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, one of America's great bowling centers, longtime home of the American Bowling Congress and the Women's International Bowling Congress, for the 1979 Pro Bowlers Tour, for the $100,000 Miller High Life Open. Yes, our day started with a big surprise, the white stuff, here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. A mini blizzard, no kidding, and it's still snowing outside. A shock to the crocus and the daffodils. It may be cold outside, but inside, the hospitality in the state of Wisconsin is unparalleled, believe me. Earl Anthony, all-time record holder, PBA titles, looking for his first victory this year. The 40-year-old champion from Kent, Washington, stroking first. Watch this left-hander. Well, Dick Weber. A stroke like that, and the result helped him win those titles.
Yes, that's very true, Chris. And I think Earl has changed his thinking this particular week, because he wants to come out really charging. And in the past weeks, he doesn't feel like he's really charged enough.
All right, here's a man that really needs a win to be eligible at the Firestone Tournament of Champions. Dave Frame, 33 years old, Baldwin Park, California. Oh, it slid by, did not come up into the pocket, the 1-3 pocket, leaving the 2-4-5. Big pressure on David today because it's his first appearance ever on the Professional Bowlers Tour telecast. Now on the television pair this week, here at Celebrity Lane, 63 and 64, Dave averaged 227, Anthony 215. High hit, leaving the 610.
That's true.
Earl didn't like that. But with smooth consistency, Earl Anthony is marked with a spare in the 7th rank. The match is all even as they battle for this beautiful Miller Trophy. A lot of heavy punching power. You'll see it again. Sliding by the pocket, leaving the 2-4-5 once more.
Just by appearance, I feel that the right lane is the key lane to get lined up on. As we watch a trajectory of the ball going down the lane, the ball never gets into a roll, and causing to slide by the head pin and leaving the 2-4-5 spare. Ooh, bad break.
Back again in Milwaukee, Wisconsin at the red carpet celebrity lanes for the Miller High Life Open Championship. Our first match has ended. Earl Anthony will now meet Nelson Burton Jr. Earl defeating Dave Frame 196 to 183. Frame leaving the competition with $4,000. Okay, here's our usual colleague now, Nelson Burton Jr. Always lots of pressure because he's always giving you, the viewer, tips, and he wants to prove that what he's told you is right. Okay, beautiful strike.
Chris, just watching him throw his practice ball, he had a little trouble with lane 63, the left lane, and he lofted that ball a little bit more to make the ball slide farther and then break into the pocket before he was setting the ball down.
Earl's first shot, second game. Great respect, mutual respect, these two champions, and they love to knock each other off. They're 2-2 in their television matches over the years. And here's Earl answering with a strike in the first frame, and he has a chance to take a 10-pin lead if he can strike here. So Nelson Burton is up. Let's see what Bo can do. Shooting in the second frame of our second game.
Both of these bowlers are gutty bowlers, Chris. They're fierce out there on the approach.
Okay, beautiful stroke. A lot of body English guiding after the release of the ball on the part of Bo, and we have an all-even match, perfect up to now through 2 frames.
By the way, Bo Burton decided to switch at the very last minute, which is his prerogative, to change lanes. He wanted to start his starting lane, so he started on the left lane instead of starting on the right lane. Fresh 8. Very good hit.
Right.
The reason that he had that prerogative of changing lanes, Chris, is for the fact that he is ahead of Earl Anthony as far as finishing positions of Friday night results. Bo finishing 3rd, Earl Anthony 5th. So that's Bo's prerogative of changing the very last minute.
Now going for the lone 8-pin. And took just as much time in setting up and stroking the ball to mark with a spare in the 3rd frame. Anthony now double working 3rd frame. Strike. Nelson Burton Jr. going against Earl Anthony in the battle for the Miller High Life title. Anthony defeated Dave Frame 196 to 183 in the first game, and now going against Nelson Burton Jr., who made the finals and for the first time this year competing on our telecast instead of talking. Dick Weber here now is with me. Oh, tough shot sliding by. So he's left the 1, 2, 4, and 8.
As recorded earlier, Chris, this is a picture of Bo's footwork, and you see how the left foot toes out to the left. Very unusual for a right-handed bowler to do that. If you like it, try it. It's a very good thing because it keeps your shoulders parallel to that foul line.
So there, the professor covered the 1, 2, 4, 8. Nelson Burton Jr. Bo has found the pocket. Now Earl Anthony, who's trying to pick up his first major victory since sustaining a heart attack last year.
And one thing he doesn't want to do is set the ball down early, because this is where he leaves his weak 7.
He's got a 5-bagger in our second game. Earl the Pearl Anthony.
Now, I must say this, Chris, that this is the first time I've seen Earl Anthony loft the ball as much as he has the last 2 frames. And what it's doing is keeping the ball in a straighter line to the pocket and then a good roll on the ball, which knocks that 7-pin out of there.
Mm-hmm. 6th frame now. It's a 7-pin.
Another thing you do is you see the ball projecting down the lanes. It hits solid, but there's that nasty 4-pin going around the 7-pin and the 7-pin remaining.
So, Earl Anthony now will be going really cross lane. He's at the return. Spare for Earl after 5 in a row, marking in the 6th. Now Nelson Burton cut 10 pins off that 34-pin lead if he can strike right here on the right lane. Oh, he needed that one, Dick.
Yes, and he made the adjustment too. He left the 1, 2, 4, 8 on that last shot on the right lane, but this lane he went a little bit straighter, got the ball over the foul line, good follow through, and got the strike. He knows he has to keep going against this fellow here. No letting down against Earl Anthony.
All but the 7.
That's the one hit that you have to carry, the off hit, and if you don't carry that, then this fellow will bury you. Moves extreme right on the approach and faces the 7-pin.
All right. Earl Anthony leads by 25 pins. Las Vegas. After 5 in a row, marking the spare, Anthony striking in the 7th frame. And Nelson Burton Jr. really has a tiger going against him today.
He certainly does, and it seems like the old Earl Anthony is reappearing now because he's got that aggressiveness and he's got that concentration. He doesn't seem to be the nervous type Earl Anthony.
Leaving the 6th pin on the left lane.
Just a little bit short with the ball, setting the ball down a little bit sooner than he wanted to, not getting that skid on the ball like he wanted to.
As we said, Earl has never won. He has 30 titles from the 5th position. He won his first match. Now this is his second. Now here is Nelson Burton, 8th frame, spare working. That was beautiful.
Would strike out for a 244, and Earl Anthony is going at a 239 pace, so this would mean Earl somewhere along the line in the 9th and 10th frame would have to have a double somewhere.
Ninth frame for Nelson Burton. Strike up.
Must have it. Must have it. Oh! He didn't want that. Just a little bit fast on the ball, cutting the 5 pin out just a little bit short as we see the pocket of ball hitting the pocket, hitting the ball, hitting the 5 pin, but laying the 5 pin short of that 7 pin. Generally, the 5 pin drives into that 7 pin, but with speed, it'll cut down the driving of that 5 pin going in 7.
Spare in the 9th for Nelson Burton. Now Earl Anthony. A match of 2 great champions. One thing about the two, Dick, they waste no time after they're set on the approach.
That's for sure. They know exactly what they want to do.
So Earl leaves a 3 pin on the right lane.
And Earl just made a little motion with his hands to settle himself down as we watch a trajectory. The ball going down the lane, a little bit light on the head pin. And fortunately, he came out with 9 pins out of that. So he was pretty lucky on the hit. The situation is, Chris, that if Earl gets a mark, he is the winner. If he should happen to get a open frame with bad count, this would open up the door for Bo Burton, and Bo Burton would have to strike out to take advantage of the open.
All right, Earl shooting on the left lane. So he makes sure with that 10th frame strike. Earl Anthony. Let's see that hit again.
Well, it was a devastating hit, and because the ball is rolling so good as it hits light, it swings that 5 pin right into the 10 pin. As I was remarking about Bo's hit, it was a little bit weak going into the 7.
Earl Anthony nonchalantly stroking away, and you can do that, of course, when you get a little looser and have a lead near the end of a game.
It's surprising how your swing does free up.
And now Bo, 10th frame. Leaving a 10 pin. 193 through the 9th. And Anthony lays one in there for a 248. We'll have Bo's final total when we return. We're back in snow-covered Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 2 games ended. Anthony has won them both, 196 to 183 over frame. And against Nelson Burton Jr., Earl Anthony, 9 strikes in a 248 to 209 win. Nelson Burton earns $5,000.